Welcome to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates for you, okay? Never force anything. Cross watchers are always more than welcome to watch. And like I said, if you wind up even landing on this message, you may, and you're not a Virgo, you may resonate with the message anyway, because again, that's how spiritual energy works. So I tend to believe that a lot more than when we put it out there for a certain zodiac. So a lot of times I'll listen to other people's videos and I resonate with them, and I am not that zodiac. So again, I believe in spiritual law that we're magnets of who and what is supposed to come into our life, and that includes a message. So again, welcome to, if you're new to my channel, and welcome if you're not a Virgo. Now, if you're new to my channel, anything of any relevance you can find in the description box, such as important links. I have other YouTube channels. I have Patreon link with a bunch of different subscriptions. If you're looking to learn mediumship, if you're looking for shadow coaching, if you want to connect to other zodiacs, I have another YouTube channel. So again, everything is in that description box. Also, if you want to enter into winning a free psychic reading with me, the directions will always be in that description box. Now, today, all you'd need to do if you want to enter into winning a free psychic reading is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write whatever word of the day in your comment bar. You'll know if I chose you if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. If I did, then you and I will correspond back and forth on YouTube to figure out a good time that we both can jump on to do a free reading for you. You know, all readings are done live so that it's beneficial for everyone involved, because I don't just look at what's going to happen. I like to look at the spiritual energies, the underlying spiritual energies of the karmic themes, the karmic situations that are happening, okay? That it will tell us what behaviorisms and habits we may be able to change in order to get a different outcome. Okay, so this is why we look at that energy. So we all can shape shift our reality. Understand there's many different outcomes to any situation depending on how you choose to deal with the situation. That's what karma is all about. So this is why I like to look at the spiritual energy first, especially when we're dealing with any type of soul relationship, right? I mean, soul relationships, they can trigger us the most. We have so much unconditional love for that person, but on the other hand, we could feel like it's really keeps us in a place of frustration a lot because we're being triggered a lot. So we are going to look and see what your person's going to do. But like I said, I like to look at the spiritual energy first. So, okay, the word of the day that you're going to put in the comment bar, by the way, is going to be overstimulated. That's the word that you're going to put in your comment bar if you want to win a free psychic reading. We're going to keep that card too as the start of the reading, okay? So overstimulated, that happens when we have so much thought and so much emotion. We freeze. It says that you are a highly sensitive person that can become overly stimulated, especially through your relationship. And you're connected to someone that also can tend to get that way, because you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life, right? So it's, again, permissive. However, I feel like even though you get overstimulated, you tend to handle things a lot differently than they do. I feel like you want to talk things out. You would like to, you like to take things more seriously. This is it showing, where the other person is likes to sit back and kind of see what's happening. And so there's also a sense of your person has never dated a person like you. They think that you're very different, that you're very creative, and you are. They can see your spirit, they can feel your soul, Virgo. And because, again, it shows you're a highly sensitive person, and highly sensitive people, we can connect very deep on an emotional level. But understand the sensitivity can also be overstimulating. And it's because, again, when you have strong feelings for someone and they're not really 100% showing you how they feel, then a lot of times we have too much thought, too much emotion, we have anxiety. It triggers our abandonment, it triggers again. And so there's a sense of you and your person, like I said, handle things very differently. So I'm feeling like you don't really feel like they should give you enough emotionally. You feel like they don't care. When really, I feel like they're observing you. They're kind of watching you, and you inspire them. They think that you're different. They think that you're unique because you are. You're a spiritual being and live your life, and understand everybody's a spiritual being. But what I'm meaning to say is you live from a heart consciousness, where this person does not. They live more from a logical and linear way. So they see you as very creative. You're an idea person. You inspire people. Again, you always have ideas, and you're very innovative. Okay. So this is showing, again, the spiritual energies. So spiritual energy, when we're overstimulated, this could also show that we're not really 100% confident in ourselves. And I feel like your person is not confident. So we're dealing with mirroring energy right here. And I feel like both of you don't really know how to handle the situation. So no one's really doing anything. However, your person is observing you. So if you have social media, they may be observing you through social media. If you hang out with the same friends, they're observing you from that they're not really engaged with you, but they're kind of keeping tabs on you, if that makes sense. And the reason why is because they get so emotional. I don't feel I feel like they're not confident in themselves. However, they give off the impression that they are. And so they are wearing a mask where they give very, very little. And so there's a sense that that's very overstimulating to you because you know what you're feeling. You can feel this spiritual connection, but they're acting like they don't really care. And so and it's the reason why is because they're very logical. You're not going to be able to feel them because, again, logic, you don't feel a person's what they think. You feel their emotion. So here, this person is a soul family. I don't know what kind yet. I don't know whether this is a soulmate or whether this is a twin flame. I don't even know whether it's a trauma bond yet. What I do know is that it's a soul family and that there's a very deep connection with two people that think completely different, which means that they handle life a lot different and that there is an attraction, but there's also a lot of triggering going on because and triggering, which creates overstimulation, which overstimulation keeps a person stuck and feeling inadequate and feeling lack. So this spiritual, again, energy is talking about healing on a deep level, okay, beyond just this relationship connection. And it really, you have to say, why does spirit bring us people into our lives, and why does certain things unfold within our life? And the reason why is to heal, to transcend the limitations of our mind, to learn what unconditional love is. And what I'm saying is there is unconditional love because this is a soul family connection. However, it's two people that are also like trigger each other, that don't feel comfortable, that is bringing up their wounds, and not because there's a lack of love, but because no one's really showing any emotion. No one's really, there's a lot of overstimulation due to the fact of how I'm feeling your person feels about themselves and how you feel about yourself, and how what they're doing is triggering you to bring up that wound, and vice versa, where they've used to being with people that may overgive and do for them where they don't have to give anything. So the fact that you're not giving them anything, you're just giving them what they're giving you, it's overstimulating to them, but they're not seeing the fact that they're not giving anything for you to really give anything. So, and that's because they're again frozen. What happens when you again are overstimulated? You're stuck in a place of fight, flight, or freeze, which is overstimulation. And then what happens with you too is because they respond, then you get overstimulated where you don't really want to. I feel like you might get a lot of anxiety and come across in a way that's too abrupt, or you're not going to say anything at all. There's still like a lack of balance. So again, here's this Joker card that I never take out. I call it a Joker card. When I pull it, it means that there's a lack of identity because there's no word on it, right? There's no negative word, there's no positive word. It's just an empty card. And I just like to keep it in the deck because I use it as a layer of information, right? So when we have trauma, it means that we haven't developed part of ourself yet, right? Because if you're in survival mind, you're not in the creative mind. It's just that simple. When you're finding yourself, it's a creative process. It's an unfoldment process. We don't know what that process is because it happens as you're doing. So it's again, there is wounding that you both have from childhood that, again, there's this empty place. So again, this is a soulmate. It's not like they're not. However, they're mirroring, and they're mirroring a lot of your wounds and vice versa. And at the same time, there's a lot of triggering going on. But there's this unconditional love. Universal panacea is the magic pill. There is no magic pill, but if we're going to talk about a magic pill, the closest one that we can really find is universal panacea, which is unconditional love. And so there is a connection of unconditional love, and this is universal love. So this is a soulmate twin flame relationship that you two are mirroring each other. And what's happening is the insecurity that you both have, it's again creating a lot of overstimulation, which would, again, if a person isn't giving you anything, like that's because they're acting like they don't care or don't care as much, is because they're wanting you to express everything to make them stay. You're not really doing that. They're not used of that. But understand, because you're not doing it, they've invested a lot more time in getting to know you, where they see that you inspire them. It's again because you approach your life a lot differently than they do. Again, you're more of a creative, and a creative is an intuit. It's somebody again that leads with their heart. This is somebody that leads with their head. So a lot of times we do get our soulmate twin flame person that is our opposite. It's not someone that we would think that we would choose for ourselves, right? We don't even know why that happens. It happens because, again, spirit uses our relationships to grow us, to heal us, to transcend us, to show us a different way of being, to find, and a lot of times to balance us. We wouldn't be balanced if you're always coming from a place of heart and never tune into your logical, analytical mind. Then that could be a problem, especially when we're dealing with business and other things that cause us to have to utilize that part of our mind. And if your person, which it looks like, they're only used to dealing with relationships from a logical, analytical mind because they don't trust themselves on an emotional level. Because when they have to tap into their emotions, they get overstimulated. So they give very little. They act like they don't really care. They deal with everything from a logic standpoint. However, you both can feel that love and that connection, even though there's a lot of triggering going on, even though there's a lot of this going on. So I always say your soulmate twin flame comes into your life to pull out all the wounding, right? Because you are a spiritual being and you're having a human experience. But part of that human experience is to be able to create, manifest. If you're not a clear conduit for spirit to work through, then you're going to have problems within relationships and money and other areas. You both have had problems in your relationships. I feel like, have you been in more successful relationships? Yes. However, they both parties have not really been in equal balanced relationships where it wasn't codependency. Codependency is usually where one person emotionally doesn't give and the other person like is giving like a, everything emotionally, but maybe isn't contributing financially. A codependency is where it's two people that think that they need each other, and it looks like a karmic contract. And so this dynamic, you are not allowing that. Virgo, you're saying, I'm not going into a karmic contract. I know what this person wants. I can see because they breadcrumb me. They don't give me anything. They, again, to playing like hard to get, want to deal with me like cold and logically and keep me not really feeling loved, to be honest with you, even though there is unconditional love. How they're expressing it is not really enough for you. So that's making you feel like you have to search for something again that that this is not your person a lot of times. So even though you know that they are a soulmate twin flame, there's a sense if you're not getting what you need emotionally, you would constantly look. And there's also a sense that your person has been avoidant. So, and in that you feel like, are they searching? So they trigger you because you're like, well, if they're not emotionally giving to me, who are they giving to? So again, that would be a trigger, like not feeling settled within yourself. But remember, no one should be able to make you feel that way. Easier said than done, but reckless, being thoughtless. So it's again that the fact that your person emotionally doesn't really want to create that bond. It's like because they're afraid. They have already created the bond, however, because you can feel when you're a soulmate twin flame relationship, you can feel that there's an ESP connection that transcends all time and space. It's a past life connection. So we automatically know who they are. So it's bizarre when the person isn't giving anything on an emotional level. However, it's like they get triggered by the depth of the relationship. So what they do is they sabotage the relationship. They get in their own way. That's what reckless energy is. It's like being thoughtless, only caring about themselves, taking dangerous risks when it comes to like how they're treating themselves, how they're treating you, like knowing obviously that the relationship over time is going to deteriorate because of their behavior. So this would obviously keep you, Virgo, in a place of feeling like lack, not safe. It's a way that they can drain your energy. And I hate to say that. And this is not even like the person's conscious of it a lot of times. A lot of times we get into a relationship with someone that's not emotionally intelligent, that has had many bad relationships, and they enter into the relationship with you and they bleed all over. Not just you, anybody that when we're in a relationship with someone that hasn't done healing, they bring all their baggage, all their problems into the relationship, And so the karmic theme is you're still not emotionally getting what you need because this person is incapable of expressing, even though there's unconditional love, even though that they know that they leave you again searching for someone, like for something that's going to again be emotionally fulfilling for you. Again, sadness. So again, like you have to figure out, like at this stage of the game, do you want to stay in a place of sadness? Because at this point, it's like by you holding on to this relationship, really, with this person giving the bare minimum and treating the relationship very coldly, and you holding on, they don't never have to change. It keeps you in a place of, again, lack and limitation. Really, that's what you have to say. What do relationships do? They, again, they trigger us. And so your person, even though there is such a strong spiritual bond, and it is one that your person really, if they step it up, it should be a twin flame soulmate relationship. However, if they keep you in a place of sadness and they keep you in a place of limitation, then they are a fake twin, right? So but that doesn't mean that you're not inspiring them to step into their best self, but they're still not willing to give, to open up their heart. And that's really the problem with like you said, when you don't heal, the person doesn't heal and they go into a new relationship without healing, they bring in all the same wounds, all the same problems. They recreate the same exact problems, which makes them stuck in that limited thought pattern and belief about themselves that they can't be loved, that they can't have. So might as well be reckless, might as well just only care about myself. Now, there was someone interfering in our relationship, and I feel like your person, they get involved in relationships, but they never really form deep relationships. They make people pretend that they fall for them. So a lot of times they never end anything. They go from one relationship to another relationship to another relationship because, again, they emotionally don't connect well. And so they never close the book. And when a person never really ends a relationship, then, the person that never really has to give 100%. They have one foot in, one foot out. It's a way that they stay safe. So, like I said, my fear is that they would always have that until they heal themselves, right? They would always have someone on the back burner because, again, they don't trust themselves. They don't trust relationships. They won't work through their issues. So it doesn't matter that there's unconditional love. They almost feel like, well, there's unconditional love, so you should be the one that changes. And that's, no, can we start over? So there was someone in their relationship. So I feel like they wouldn't also let you come close because there was someone in their relationship that they never closed the door on and that you walked away because you got tired of staying in a place of sadness. Gaslighting, got tired of being gaslighted. It's like this person was trying to keep you stuck. It felt out of touch with reality because everything I knew was being deflected. I woke up and saw the truth because your person was keeping you in a place of lack and limitation. And this is hard when we have a soul connection that we really feel connected to that person and we see the possibilities and we have expectations of them because we can feel the depth of the connection. Well, I feel like that scared your person. And so instead of them like dealing with it, they ran, they gave little, they tried to deal with it logically, they avoided it. And I feel like they have a long history of doing that. because again, they are not emotionally intelligent. They don't want to be vulnerable. They need healing from past relationships. So they don't close the door. And then what happens is they get people to invest a lot of energy into them, which that again makes them feel comfortable, feeds their ego. Unfortunately, it keeps them bored. And also, eventually, they don't want to stay with the people that do all that for them because those people don't have an identity and become too smothering. And so what winds up happening is they're those people that have done everything for them, they tend to want revenge. So they interfere so that your person can't really move forward. But and so then your person's all afraid of commitment, but they're the ones that create that dynamic because they don't feel strong within themselves, which understand when we meet a person that cannot emotionally express, then they're not emotionally intelligent. They hide their feelings and they manipulate you so that you show emotion and feeling. It's very draining. It's toxic. And that's what gaslighting is. It makes you begin to not really trust yourself. And so um, I feel like you had to walk away. And in that, it's again, you use all your passions and feelings and emotions and you channeled into creating yourself. And I feel like that's very inspiring to this person. Now, sometimes we wind up just coming into that person's life to teach them, to show them, to like, again, to show them their karma. It's not that they don't have feelings, they want everything on their terms. That's what this is. It's like, but they're like, I want to start over. Unfair. Again, like that's what I'm saying. They want everything on their terms. So now all of a sudden that you're gone, they want to start over. But they don't know how to like break this karmic pattern. They don't know what to do to like not recreate and understand. So you can't leave it up to them because feelings is one thing, but when we have trauma, like you said, the person's looking at the situation through a distorted perception and they are like where they are only protecting themselves. You're not in a relationship by yourself. The person is only caring about that. Now you may say, well, why didn't they come into my life? Well, maybe you needed to learn unconditional love. Maybe you needed to see that you're deserving of a lot more. And sometimes it's the purpose is really not so much for you as for the person that is connected to you because they have feelings. It's not like they don't have feelings. They just are unfair. They just are unfair because they don't, have had good success in their past relationships. They don't like who they are. So in the fact that they give little, that's why. If, the person that they're with doesn't really feel that they're there as a way that they always get more. It's almost like a very mean and cruel thing. It's again, you are not supposed to leave our partner wanting more. We should, if otherwise, why be with this person? Because if they're emotionally not going to give you anything. So let's see what their hidden truths are, because we see spiritually what's off, and really what's spiritually off is the person has a lot of baggage that they need to heal from past relationships, and they know that this is a very spiritual connection, one that they can't let go of. They've tried to let go of. They can't let go of it. You inspire them. There is love there, but they're selfish. They want things on their terms. They don't want to give anything. So they play games. They try to gaslight you. They try to manipulate you. They try to, their behavior becomes very reckless. They act as if they don't want the relationship, but then but then they do. And then they give a lot of mixed messages that they want it. And because again, part of them really does want it. There's a spirit part of themselves that's the God part of self, which again recognizes that you're part of their soul family, recognizes you from a past life, right? So, and can feel that this relationship would be great. However, they've had a lot of bad relationships and they're saying, those past relationships, I didn't have the depth that I have with you. So you could really hurt me. See what, when a person needs healing, that's the way that they look at life. Instead of just embracing the relationship, they're like acting like if they're going to be with you, they have to give up their life. And the reason why is because they're codependent. And so they make a person codependent because they don't give anything. So they might come on very sexually, but sexually is not the same as emotionally. Your person is not emotionally intelligent. So they've created a lot of relationships that didn't work out for them and wound up becoming very toxic. Because if where a person is with somebody and they're continually giving, and they're hoping to emotionally get back and they never do, it's like almost like stubbing your toe on the same piece of furniture in the same spot over and over and over again. It begins to hurt, and then it creates a lot of drama within the relationship, which makes your person not want to be in a commitment. So because they're unfair. So to be in a relationship and say, well, I know that you're unfair and you're going to change because how much you love me, because we have this spiritual connection, what you know is would be a stupid thing. With That's what that says here. Your person was hoping that the emotional connection and the spiritual connection would override your logic, that you would just do what you know what you felt again, but where meanwhile they wouldn't. So it has put them in a position where they have to change. Either they're gonna, because if they want you in their life, what they're seeing is it doesn't matter that we have this connection. I'm going to have to like change. That's what this story is saying right now, mainly because they tried to play all these games and they did. And why? Because of their spiritual issues. However, how do they secretly feel? What are their hidden truths? Let's see. You came closer than anyone. So there was a sense of they wanted to open up. They still have feelings, but it looks like they're saying to themselves right now, I don't really want to change. I really don't want to. And maybe they feel like they can't. I want to be more than friends. So it's again, here we're going to get a lot of mixed messages where you came closer to them, where I feel like they were willing to open up. But again, only on their terms. And so we know that they want to be more than friends, but what does that mean? Because your person's not capable of emotionally giving. So that means they want pretty much a passionate relationship. They're not emotionally intelligent. They don't know how to show up. So remember, they are very attracted, soulmate, twin flame, all those soul relationships. Obviously, what would keep us with a person that triggers us. Obviously, it's the attraction. Obviously, it's the passion. And so your person wants that, but they, again, need to heal, it looks like, in order to have that with you. I know that I crossed the line with you. Yeah, because they kept trying to do things their way. And so they would lie and they would manipulate and they would leave things out and they would, come close and get you to like put down your guard, and then the same thing would happen. So this is how they knew that you care. Remember, when a person has showed you who they are, and then you keep letting them into your life, and they keep doing the same thing, well, this is how they know how much you care. So they thought that they could chisel away and eventually you would again just give in to them, or as I said, like not look at everything, the whole story, how their behavior would influence. You just thought, oh, I have a strong connection with this person. I love this person. I feel like I'm supposed to be with this person. It doesn't really matter what they did. I know that they love me, and to run into the relationship, this is what they wanted. Very unfair energy and not really a little delusional, which means your person, again, is not really grounded. So they're not really conscious on how they are treating you. They're like looking at the passion and they're looking at that, but they're not looking at the fact that that is the cocktail for a toxic relationship. They get into toxic relationships because they're only with people that they're passionate about, but they never take the time to get to know. And because they don't emotionally know how to give. And so they just look at the relationship from their point of view, which is one sided. And so they did budge. They did try more than they've ever tried with anyone else. So in their mind, they think that you came closer than anyone, even though you weren't even satisfied. So there's a part of this person that doesn't take anyone else's feelings into consideration. They're very selfish, which happens when a person needs healing. So again, we know that they want to be more than friends. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. I feel like they feel bad because they don't really know why the relationship and just why life always looks the same for them. They don't understand why there's a belief that they can't have love because they keep creating the same thing. Just being near you is intoxicating. Again, I feel like, again, because you're different. You, again, are more spiritual in your approach to life. So you approach life with love, where they're used to people that, again, are very more conservative, I would say, and you're not really conservative. You're a free spirit. You're opposite from them. So there's a sense that they don't usually fall for people. And like I said, they fell for you, and instead of them really showing and embracing that, it has scared them. They don't like feeling vulnerable. So let's see what other messages we have. It stinks when we have like someone that's a soul family and they're not capable of giving us. And then there's a sense of, I know how wonderful you could be. It's so very difficult not to have expectation when you meet like a twin flame or a soulmate or someone that of its past life partner. It's like there is a sense of familiarity and there's this sense of unconditional love, even though we don't know that person. We feel like we already know that person because we knew them in a past life, but that doesn't mean we know who they are in the now and in the moment. And we have to remember that, because your person can get carried away in the fantasy of the passion, and there's no ground in that, meaning that person hasn't laid out a future, they haven't had a plan, they're only looking at things from their very selfish way. And it's because, again, they're not even aware. That's what this story is about. Okay, I ran away because I felt I couldn't live up to your needs and expectations, where it's, again, your needs really are your emotional needs, because I don't really feel like you need anything. You take care of yourself. And your expectations, this is a soulmate like relationship. They should be showing you unconditional love. So of course they ran from me because you were like, what is this? And you were asking them to be accountable. I wish I could give you more. So a lot of times these relationships just really create awareness. But understand, if you walked away, which it looks like you did, then your person is eating that karma. Because what they're saying is, I expected you to stay while I breadcrumbed you because of this deep spiritual connection that we have, and you didn't. And then when I was put on the spot to like really come forward and do my part to show the importance of this relationship, I couldn't. And I couldn't, not because of you, but because of me. I am not emotionally capable of doing that for you. And again, the expectations of showing up every day. I couldn't do that for you. And you deserve more spiritual awakening. But however, it's created a spiritual awakening within inside of them because you didn't tolerate it. You were like, I'm not sticking around for this. I am not sticking around for this. If you ran away because you can't emotionally give, then and you want me to change and cater, that's not happening. So again, your person expected it, and they didn't think that they formed such a deep connection to you, but they did. So what creates spiritual awakening? When again we are in the dark night of the soul. And how do we get into a dark night of the soul? When we have the same karmic theme play out over and over and over and over and over again, and our reality is really disrupted. And so I believe that you created an awakening within your person because what you said was, I don't care what type of connection we have. What you're doing and how you're showing me that you care is bullshit. I'm not sticking around for it. They expected, first they tried to gaslight you. They tried to again trigger you. They tried to manipulate you in every single which way. And then, you know, when they wanted another chance, you were like, I don't really want this. It's like obstacles. And the obstacles are again, like your person like is avoidant. So until they fully go through this awakening, that's the way that they remove the obstacles really. Because the awakening is the awareness of what they do to, make their relationships toxic. And that's by not emotionally giving. And this showed it to them because here they actually have an emotional connection to you and they fuck this shit up. And then which threw them into a spiritual awakening. Again, and so where you saw it as betrayal. But really, you saw it as betrayal because they didn't give you, but the reason why they're the way that they are is because they've had a lot of people. Again, they led people on. They're all passion. They make people believe that they care. Then emotionally, they're not capable of giving. And then what happens is they have people retaliate. So they have commitment issues. With you, there was real love and there's real, but they, again, were controlling it in order to, again, feel safe. But in the fact that they were betrayed, they were actually betraying you by how they were acting. And that's how a wound a lot of times plays out. When we have a wound, we tend to project onto another person. So if you're like, well, this person, I really had a connection and we have this unconditional love, but they treated me like crap the whole time. Well, that's again, they have had a lot of wounds that they didn't heal, they haven't integrated. And so that would play out like that because selfish behavior, person isn't caring about you. Okay, you deserve better than me. And that came up before. So this person knows. And I literally channeled that before, that they know that you deserve better. And so because they don't think highly of themselves, because they don't know why the relationships turn out the way that they do. They're asleep to it. That's what an awakening is. You become awakened to what it is that you're doing. But you can only get to an awakening through a dark night of the soul. And dark night of the soul happens when, can happen if there's a death. It can happen if there's a breakup. So again, a significant breakup. So they, again, felt that even if you weren't together, that this was still a significant relationship. So they could feel that it was a soul relationship. So they know that it was a significant relationship. And the fact that it didn't work out, it's devastating to them. And that's what pushed them into the spiritual awakening. So your person did everything to not give you emotionally to protect themselves. But what wound up happening is it completely push them into an emotional, feeling all these different emotions that they don't know how to handle. Because a spiritual awakening is that. When we are awakened, we have a lot of different feelings and emotions, and your person does this new territory for them. They are avoidant of that. for reasons which I said earlier. I was pretending to be someone else. Yeah. So again, they were pretending that they didn't like you. They were pretending that they were tough. They were pretending like, again, they didn't need you. They were pretending um, they were someone else, so that you would give them more and so that they didn't have to. I think in their mind, they thought that they were being strong, portraying themselves strong, but really a person that doesn't show emotions does not show that they are strong. It really shows that they're weak because they're not capable of expressing. And that is what your person is realizing, saying, like, I fouled up this relationship, this connection, because I wasn't willing to give because I didn't want to feel all this pain, and I'm feeling all this pain anyway. And it's like, and not to mention, why would I cut myself off from love? Why would I expect someone to treat me nicely if I treat them like shit also? So they're a little bit like surprised at how they acted too. Now remember, when we have a trauma, a lot of times we go out of consciousness and we respond and react from old, automatic behaviorisms. So again, I believe that your person gets so overstimulated that they're not thinking. That's how this reading pretty much started off, is that there's a lot, they would get overstimulated from so much thought, so much emotion, so much feeling. And like, so it's again, when we get overstimulated, we're not coming from our conscious mind, we're coming from the survival mind. So they're actually, now that the relationship isn't here, they're looking at how they were the toxic, but when they were in the relationship or connection with you, as little as it could have been, because I don't really even feel like it got off the ground that much because they wouldn't allow it, that now they're seeing, oh, wait a minute, this person wasn't toxic. They saw you as being toxic because you were calling out their behavior. But now that you've detached and you're not nowhere around, now they're seeing how it was really that they were being toxic. And that's the awakening, is that they've sabotaged a good thing. Please forgive me. And that's what I'm saying. They realize that, but they're like, oh my God. It's almost like they have the awakening of what they did, and finances are a problem. So I feel like, again, they want to fix this, but there's a sense of, if they're coming back, they have to come back like different. And this could also be where, they don't really feel like financially they have enough to treat you the way that, you deserve to be treated right now. I don't know what I want. And I think it's, again, there's a part of them that it knows that this is a soul's relationship. They know that they have strong feelings. However, they still need to do that healing, and, that they have to invest in the relationship, and that in order to do that, it looks like they have to change certain things within their life, work on themselves more. Because they're not thinking that they're good enough, because they actually think finances, where if the person really likes someone, finances really aren't an issue, right? It's, again, no one wants to be poor, but you can work on yourself and be in a relationship at the same time. So it's, again, I believe that your person does not feel good about themselves. You are always on my mind. So they're in a place of like awareness, I would say. They're in a place of, healing. When we are in a dark night of the soul, when we're going through an awakening, we're actually like becoming aware of our behaviorisms in order to change. It's an uncomfortable process, but it is a healing process. And I feel that your person feels that they are going to come back to you, in spite of the fact that they get unsure sometimes because you're always on their mind. There's a sense of The only obstacle is really how they feel about themselves. Like, do I have enough money? Am I good enough? Can this person forgive me after everything that I've done? Those things. But understand, when a person surrenders their ego, we know that they really love and that they've learned what unconditional love is. Your person, all those excess things of, am I good enough? Do I have enough money? Do I have, this sense of not feeling strong? Well, that needs to be cleared out and healed, but they're working through it. And that's what soul relationships do. They make us heal, they make us change. And last card out, which is, being apart from you has changed my life. I'm in a dark place right now. I will contact you soon. And that's what I was saying. They're in a dark night of the soul, but there's a changing them. So if you're not in contact with them, it's because they're doing healing. I'm not saying that what they did before is you should just let go of, but what I'm saying is, when they come back, because they will come back, they will apologize to you. They want to act different to you, because they're realizing this connection. They're realizing that it's important. Like I said, I think that they thought that they could walk away and never think about you again. I think that they never really cared like, they never invested anything. They never really tried to be in a relationship. They made other people give them. So now they're actually trying to get their life together. They're thinking about that. They're actually like thinking about your feelings, where this whole reading, they were only thinking about themselves. So there's a sense that they do want to start over. However, they don't know whether they want a deep relationship or not. They don't know whether or not, they don't know whether they could be fair, to be honest with you, because they are not 100% comfortable with themselves. But they will not be the same person after they go through this. I don't see them being reckless. I don't see them not caring anymore. I don't. I feel like there's a sense that they know that they want to become more than friends with you because of this unconditional love. Understand that they don't. That's really what it is. They know that you deserve more, and they know what they have to work on. So, like I said, I feel like the only issue is they wish that they could give you more, and because they don't, that's like, again, an obstacle right now for them. But they really truly want to make it work out. I believe that they're eating their karma. They expected you to, again, be different. They expected you to beg and plead for them to come back and to be the way that they, you know, um, deal with you the way that they've dealt with all the other women. But you are not like the other women, and that, or men, whether you're a man or woman. I'm just kind of feeling like this is like, who I'm talking about, Virgo, that you're connected to a man, and that, now understand, energies could be more, that it's a female that has a lot of male tendencies, where they just act dominant. They're used to having everything their way. They're used to getting people to bend over backwards for them, where they don't give anything. So they don't know how to be in this type of relationship. However, from being in those past type of relationships, they were with low vibe people that didn't care about themselves. And though the relationship might have started off real sweet and real nice, it would always end up in disaster, because, like I said, that no one wants to give the whole time in a relationship and not get back emotionally. And what would happen is, like I said, your person would take, and then all of a sudden be done with that person, and there's consequences. So, like I said, they're learning. If I'm with someone that I love, I should give more. But they wouldn't have learned that unless you walked away. So I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you felt about this reading, and if you liked it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and remember, in this story, it was all about being true to yourself. It doesn't matter whether or not you're connected to a soulmate twin flame. It doesn't matter whether this is somebody that you know truly, truly does love you. If you continue to feed a relationship where the person isn't capable, then you're never going to get what you want. However, if the person loves you, they'll change. You can't make a person change. But if they love you, they will change. And this story was about the fact that this person that you were connected to, Virgo, didn't really know whether they loved you or not because they never gave 100% to anybody. So they breadcrumbed a lot. But once you left and you didn't tolerate this because they didn't give you anything, they felt the difference. And that is what's making them change. So then, and it's pushed them into a dark night of the soul. Now, whether you're going to be with them or not, whether it's a successful relationship or not, that's for another reading. But as far as right now, your person wants to make their way back. And so their intention is to make it work. And that is what healing is all about. And that's why we have those soul relationships. We have soul relationships that, especially that are like the soulmate twin flame, is to make us step into the best version of ourselves.